Help us all. I'm doing math on this episode of Science with Shields.
We are beautiful science, compliance, baby, you and me, a cosmic alliance, defiance.
Hey everyone, it's meteorologist Christy Shields, and on this episode of Science with Shields, we're talking about pie. And no, I'm not talking about pizza pie, even though I have one in front of me, or apple pie or cherry pie, nothing like that. We're talking about pi, which is an irrational number that's super important in math equations that can help us find so many things and solve so much, and we use it a lot in weather. So let's talk about pi for a second. It's 3.1415, and it goes on for infinity, so you continue those numbers. That's all I have memorized from it. So what we're going to do today is find pi by measuring circles, because pi is the ratio of a circumference by its diameter of a circle. So a circumference of the circle divided by the diameter should equal pi. Now with mathematics, not always are we going to have a perfect circle, and I bet my pizza here is not a perfect circle. And also, we're not taking a perfect measurement. It's roughly what it's going to be, and if you try this out with any type of circle, roughly you're going to get around 3.1415. So let's try it out. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my tape measure here, and I am going to measure the circumference of my circle, and I am going to use centimeters because I'm a scientist. So let's check it out. So we're going to start off here and use this tape measure to do around the pi to get its circumference. And I am going to roughly measure this here in 1 second. Having some issues. All right, so I get 129 centimeters. So I'm going to write that down. 129 centimeters equals my circumference. Now I'm going to measure the diameter of the pizza, and I'm getting 40.5 centimeters. So we have 40.5 centimeters. So to find pi, what we're going to do here, and I've got this handy dandy phone, which is a great calculator, we are going to take 129 centimeters, which is our circumference, and divide 129 by 40.5, and what it comes up with is 3.18. So again, roughly 3.14. We're slightly over, and I don't think this pizza is a perfect circle, but it's close. How neat is that? So let's try it out with anything else, a different circle, because like I said, this should work for any type of circle. So I'm gonna move my pizza here over, and we have the top of this jar, which is also a circle. So we're going to measure and divide this circumference by the diameter, and it should equal around pi. Again, we're not sure if this is a perfect circle, and our measurements aren't going to be perfect. So we're going to measure around, and I get 21.5 centimeters for the circumference, and the diameter is 7. So 21.5 divided by 7 here on our calculator. Do this, 21.5 divided by 7 equals 3.07, but you would round up and you would get 3.1, which is close to that 3.14, which is our pi number. So very cool. Let's do it one more time. Next, to demonstrate pi, we're going to draw our own circle. It's going to be best if you have a compass. And if you don't have a compass, you can take a lid of any sort that is round and draw the circle around. But we're going to use this tool to do this. And so I'm going to set it in the middle here, to 1 point. And then to make it a little easier and make sure that I draw a perfect circle, I'm going to slide the paper around to keep it pretty even. Voila, a circle. Next thing we want to do is cut the circle out, and then we'll measure the circumference and diameter, and we should get 3.14. And again, with mathematics and science, things can go awry, and obviously I'm not going to cut this perfect circle. And that's the thing with science. It's never perfect, but we can learn from it, and that's what's fantastic about it. So I've cut my circle out. Next thing I'm going to do is measure the circumference of this circle. Got the wrong side of the measure. All right, so we finally have this measured here, and if we take a look, it looks like the circumference is around 50 centimeters. So that's something we can write down here. It's 50 centimeters. But what's neat about pi is we can actually do it opposite as well. So whenever we find the circumference and the diameter, you can divide that and it equals pi 3.14. But you can also do the diameter times pi, and it should equal around your circumference. So let's take a look at the diameter. And our diameter here is around 15. So 15 and a half. So if we do 15 and a half times pi, we get 48.67 centimeters. And we did that rough measurement of the circumference and got 50. So it is right there like what we thought. And that's the best thing about pi, is that it can help you find out all different things and help you in aiding to make science and mathematical equations that help us with our everyday life. So thank you for watching this episode of Science with Shields. Head to WTAJ Plus for more episodes and more experiments.